Hi everyone, thank you for joining me and being here today. This is going to be a timeless reading. So for whoever comes across the video and needs to hear this message, if you're interested in knowing when I'm recording, today is May 26th of 2023. And I just want to let you know I did a little meditation and prayer before starting the video, and I prepped the card so that way I don't have to do it on camera. So let's get started and see what the cards have to say today. I want to start off by looking at your overall energy, where you're at right now. Internally, your emotional state, your mental state, and then we'll go into your environment and end with the situation and see what comes through that. So we have the moon. We have the moon, the Two of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. So right now, it does seem as though there could be a little fogginess happening. Maybe you are not very clear on a path that you want to take, or maybe you're feeling, just throughout the day, not having too much of a direction. There seems to be a little bit of juggling happening. I don't know if you have a lot on your plate right now, and it's looking at what is the best route to take. Maybe you do have a lot of options in front of you. If there are a lot of responsibilities or obligations that you have, it could be that you could be a little overwhelmed right now with them, and you're not really sure on which direction to take or what would be the smartest way to go about all of them. I would just say to kind of step back and reevaluate the situation. If there's anything that you can delegate or anything that, you can put off just for a little bit and concentrate on the stuff that is most important, of course. If this has to do with a project, or maybe it's not about work, maybe it's not, something that's too important, right? Maybe this is more about just overall direction in life and kind of thinking about like, okay, well, this is where I'm at right now, but what is next? Not having anything concrete or a vision, right, that is kind of set in stone. Looking for a passion, looking for, goals that you want to achieve. Maybe there's just a little bit of blankness there, right? There's some cloudiness, there's some vagueness there, and you're not really too sure on where to go next. And that happens, right? I mean, we can just become a little stagnant sometimes in our daily life or day-to-day routine, when it comes to our work, our families, the things that we do, that sometimes we just tend to lose motivation or the inspiration to do something different or something else. But I am seeing that there is a little itch or a little urge to do something more. So, I mean, that's a good start. So if you are feeling the call, to find a hobby or a passion, something like that, I mean, that's a start. That's definitely here. And look at your options. What are you good at? What makes you happy? If you didn't have to work and do the daily responsibilities, what would you rather be doing in your day? And maybe start there. Definitely streamlining some things for yourself so that way you can make room for it. Maybe that's another thing too, is that you have too much going on. You don't know how to incorporate something new in your life or something that is just for yourself. So ask for help, right? Like if you have a support system, people living in your home, something like that, take a break. It is, time, we're in summertime or spring, summertime. So maybe you want to just get away for a little bit. That way you can center yourself and ground yourself. Because if there is too much of a depth here with the moon and then having the Seven of Cups, You know, you can go off into your own little world at times, maybe some daydreaming that you're kind of forgetting the real world stuff that you need to be doing. So therefore, it kind of feels like it's all piling up, and then you get overwhelmed and you don't know which way to go from there, right? So grounding, being out in nature, getting away from the daily routine will always help. Let's see what's in your environment. Could be people, situations. Well, this is similar to the moon from the fact of it not being very grounded. So the High Priestess, when this card comes out, it does talk about our intuition, our sensitivity, you know, going within, feeling the internal side of us and looking deep into it could be our emotions with the Six of Cups here, but it's just more following your intuition or having a relationship with that part of ourselves. If this is in your environment, you could be dealing with somebody that is like this. Maybe this person is a little quiet. They're more sensitive to the environment around them, to the energy that, you know, they step into. Or maybe this is a call for you to do that with all of the cloudiness and that is going on over here, and the need to go within so that way you can tap into something that maybe it's part of your spirit or your soul that is guiding you or that is calling to you right now, and it wants your attention. I would say that it is best to be in that environment, in a place where you're comfortable. Maybe there's a need to do some meditating or some breath work, or, you know, just sort of go into, and if you're watching this type of video, I'm sure that you are already aware of those different modalities when it comes to connecting with our intuition and with our spiritual side. And so you can create a good sanctuary, whether it's at your home, in your backyard. Even if, like I said, if you do get away, maybe you want to go to more of a spiritual place or a sanctuary type of place. And with the Six of Cups, it does feel like this is sort of a calling. You know, there is something about your soul, about your internal spiritual self that is trying to get your attention, that is trying to call at you for a reason, right? So if you are too deep into the daily activities of life and you're not really connecting to that part of you, subconsciously, unconsciously, you can pick up on the fact that you're probably missing a piece, right? So I don't know if it's intentional to where you are intentionally ignoring this side of you or the need to do this. So you're probably just working and, you know, following the routine. But I just feel like there is a need to break that. When I was meditating on the reading before I started the video, I did feel the need to transform something, to that there's change happening or wants to happen. So if you are feeling that, I would definitely, if you don't know what that change is yet, you know, this is a call for you to just step back, go within, you know, get quiet, right? Be in a quiet environment and feel it out. Tap into the emotion that is coming through, and instead of ignoring it, you know, look at it and see what it is, see what it's trying to tell you. So that way you can come to terms with whatever that is. And, you know, once you're aware of it and acknowledge it, then you can definitely work toward establishing a better connection with that internal spiritual side of yourself, but also, you know, identify what it is that your soul is trying to tell you, right? So with the Moon card and the High Priestess card here, it does feel like this is a spiritual reading, or the need for you to connect to your spiritual side. And why that is, I don't know yet, but we're definitely going to find out. So I want to see what the situation is. So we have your self here, where you're at. We have your environment, which are both very similar. Okay, yeah, so totally like inspiration. So there is a fire brewing within you, a need to explore and to spread your wings and come out of the normalcy that maybe you've created or within your life. I mean, that is great, especially when we're coming from a more chaotic situation. We want to ground and we want to create routine and, you know, a good foundation for our lives, of course, but sometimes we do get stagnant in there and we're missing out on life, basically. And so over time of so much of that routine type of living, our soul is just calling and begging for us to, you know, to experience different things. With the Knight of Wands, in this deck, it's called the Knight of Inspiration. But with the Knight of Wands, it is that feeling of, I need to get out. I need to go. I need to go. I need to do something. I need to explore. I need to learn. I need to experience something new. There's definitely a passionate energy here. So if you are passionate about something, you know, your soul is calling for you to approach that and go toward it. Okay, so these are all fire cards. So all of the inspiration. So we have the 9 of inspiration and the 10 of inspiration. This is about action. And then we have the 5 of inspiration at the bottom. So this is definitely about taking action of some sort. The need to follow your passion, the need to follow this fire, this drive that you have within you is definitely coming through, and it's definitely there. And maybe because we're looking at the situation is calling for you to do that, right? So if you're not there yet feeling that fire, the situation you're in is going to make you feel it, right? It's going to make, maybe there's some pressure that is starting to happen that is going to get you to take action, because not only is the fire energy here about inspiration and passion, but it's also the action part. So when you're thinking about the elements of earth, air, fire, water, the fire element is the action taking, right? So this is how we are going to go from the feeling, which is the emotion and the water, the thinking and the logic, which is the air. How do we get that into the material world, right? How are we going to transform what we feel and our ideas and our thoughts and, you know, these goals that we have inside that we want to do? How are we going to materialize that into the earth element, which is the material? And we do that through fire. So essentially the fire element is what we need to materialize anything, right? And to manifest. So without the action part, without the fire part, those thoughts and ideas and the feelings that you have will never come to life in the 3D world. So this is a call for you to take that action. And it does feel as though there is some, what is this? Like a little bit of walls built up around that. I don't know if you are, it does feel like you're hesitant to take this step. It feels like you have some boundaries around it. I mean, of course, I'm going to pull more cards, but for the time being, it's like I need to protect myself. Or you're protecting your situation, or because the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Inspiration, you know, it can be a lot of work, right? So you're thinking about this initiative, this new project, or, you know, whatever action that needs to be taken. And you're thinking about like, how can I get it done? How can I do it? I think right now you're kind of just focused on, it's going to be a lot to do. It's going to be a lot of work. Maybe it's a big project that, you know, you need to do, and you feel a little bit overwhelmed around it. I would say again, it's always best when you get in these moments to step back, right? And look at it. What is the best step to take? What is the first step? See the situation and, you know, step by step, rather than the entire picture altogether. I mean, you have to go, you know, from point A to point B, right? Like that in between part. You can't just get to the end of this, you know, goal or situation from one day to the next. It does seem like there's some work to be done around it, and you're feeling overwhelmed about it. These are, I mean, it's really good energy. You know, you have everything it takes to get this done. If you are doubting yourself or anything like that, I mean, you know, you shouldn't. I don't think you are. I think you're just, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, okay, once again, going back to the stagnancy and organizing your situation, organizing your thoughts, organizing the plan, so that way it doesn't feel so overwhelming. The Emperor coming out, it's also a fire energy. So again, there's a lot of passion here to get this thing done. And I don't know if this is you or somebody in your environment that is showing up here to help with the situation, but it does seem as though this person, whether it's you or someone else, it has pretty good control of the situation. There is no doubt here. I mean, the Emperor is an energy of a person that takes control, takes command. It could be more authoritative. So there is a level of responsibility that he does have, because he's in, or she is in, that authority type of role. So this person is in full control of the situation. And I think that once you are able to establish a good plan of action, then you can start to get that ball rolling, not see it for such a burden of like, this is so much to handle, there's so much work to be done, but more so, okay, like as long as I have a good plan of action, then I can get this done step by step, you know, what comes first, next, on and on. And if you do have people that you can depend on and trust that can help you through this, you know, it wouldn't help to reach out and ask for help. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to reach out and ask for help. Just be careful not to sabotage the situation because you're in control. Or if somebody else, if you're dealing with a person, let's just say this is not you, this Emperor is not you, and it's someone else in your environment. Could be like an ego tripping, a lot of pride here. Definitely still in control, definitely still capable of getting the job done. But I would just be a little careful with the intention around this person or yourself even. If you're indulging too much, or this person is too indulgent on things that can potentially sabotage a situation, you want to, you know, be careful with that and take, you know, identify that. The Devil I mean, every card has its good and bad, just like everything in life, right? And, you know, the low frequency, the low vibration of this card does talk about the need to control, feeling like you are tied down by an external circumstance or an external person. Very indulgent, you know. I mean, it's good to be the type of person that does what they want, as long as you are not hurting anybody in the process. And with the Devil and the Emperor coming close together here, if we're talking about a person, and I'm sorry if this is you, I just don't think that there's too much consideration on how their actions affect others or affect the situation. The higher vibration around this is somebody that is very capable, right? Like, is very experienced in this area, you know, whatever this is, and can take control. Sorry. Sorry, my eye was burning. Okay, so, I mean, the better part to this type of person, like I said, you can trust the fact that they can get the job done, not without a little ego, right? And the ego as well, same thing, good and bad, right? The ego, we need it. We need it so that way we can perform in certain situations to our best capability. And sometimes, you know, the ego has to be there so that way we can follow through on things and have that confidence that we need to have in order to get a job done. So if it says you or you're dealing with somebody, you know, you just want to make sure that you're checking that part of yourself or whoever this person is. And it is okay to be like that as long as you're using that for the good. But if this is coming through in a negative way, there is a need to kind of pull away or pull. Maybe that's why you have some of these boundaries here that I was picking up as well. If you feel like you are being used, somebody is taking advantage of you, somebody is manipulating you, something like that. You want to go into this situation, but there is a hesitation around it. And I don't know if it has to do because of this person. And if it does, then maybe that is why you're a little foggy and confused about what to do and what route to take. So let's get more information. I'm also getting, like, whatever this project is or the situation here, it is about building something and creating something. And I don't know if this is a work thing, because with the Emperor, you know, sometimes that does come out, you know, it's a work situation. But there is a feeling of building something. I don't know, like creating, like doing something from the ground up. And also, what are your intentions around that? Which can also prevent us from being very clear on the path or on the plan that you want to take, because you don't know, like, you want to do this thing and it's an idea that you have, but you don't know why you want to do it, right? So identifying the why will probably help. The energy that's coming up here at the bottom, it does talk about the heart. It talks about something or someone that, you know, we have feelings for. And there's a need to be strong around the heartfelt things within your life. taking a rest to feel it out. And I was telling you earlier about getting away and grounding yourself and getting out of that daily life routine, so that way you can connect with your with your heart, essentially, but you know, with your internal side, with your spiritual side, and really focusing on the feelings and the heart-based things of life. Taking a rest, doing some meditation, going into that silent, quiet space. It feels sad. It feels heavy. It feels a little lonely as well. I'm sorry, I'm picking up on the feeling of these cards right now. It's like there's like your spirit, the universe, just your soul in general is calling for you to step up, to do something more with yourself, with your life, to sort of step out of this current situation that you're in, take control, take charge of yourself and your life. And I think that pain is what is preventing you from doing that. To be honest, this is the feeling that I'm getting overall right now with the entire reading, with how I'm seeing these cards. And so therefore you can sabotage good situations. Maybe this is a really good plan that you have, right? And you know, you have options, you have all of the resources that you need to get this thing going and to start building whatever this is. But that hesitant around it, you're holding back, you're bringing up these walls, telling yourself that it's just too much to do. It's just too hard. You know, I don't have, like, maybe you're in some lack mentality where you think you don't have the knowledge or the experience or the resources, which you do. But that could be just a cover up for the real situation at hand, which is some trauma, essentially. You're more than capable of getting this done. You have the experience, you have the authority, you're strong enough, smart enough. I think that you have been in situations in your life where you have overcome so much, and you know that you can always get back up once you're down. I don't know if this is a down moment for you, but taking stock and looking at your life and your capability and what you've done throughout your life, I mean, that is proof that you can handle this situation. But I think that you're sabotaging yourself because of some trauma here. And these cards don't specifically speak to trauma, but intuitively I am picking up on pain from the heart, whether it's heartbreak, the need to strengthen your heart, strengthen your emotions, and heal. Through the healing, you're going to have some sort of awakening moment. This is the Judgment card. When the Judgment card comes out, it talks about, you know, the universe like showing you, hey, this is why you went through what you went through, right? So if you've ever done any type of shadow work, any type of healing work, you'll understand that you may feel a certain way, right, in the beginning of it. You go through that work, and on the other side is when you realize why, is when you see the reasoning for it. Essentially, that is the lesson. You see the lesson. So there was something that you must have went through maybe it does feel a little recent, but something that you must have went through that has impacted you and affected you enough to kind of pause your life and stop. So because of the pain or because of the heartbreak. So there is a call for you to, once again, same type of concept, get away, get out of that normalcy. If you've been, sort of stuck on your couch and you have no motivation, no drive, you got to get up. Got to get up and go outside. Take a drive. Go to just find some type of nature. I only say this because this is my personal experience, but I always leave. I always leave. Get out of the house for a few days, go somewhere, stay somewhere else. And you'd be surprised at the amount of healing that you can get done when you are outside of that place or that state that you're in, right? So I'm not saying, that you have to go on some vacation or whatever, but what I am saying is to break away from this routine that you're in, so that way you can start to face the hurt, face the pain, face the trauma, using nature, using a new experience, by getting away from this normalcy that you've created. You're going to shock your system, right? So let's just put it into perspective. You've been in the same state. Maybe I do feel that there's some heartbreak. I'm sorry. I do feel that, you're kind of sulking. And I get it. That's needed. And we all go through those moments, but it just feels like the universe and your soul is saying enough is enough. So if you've been laying on your bed, on your couch, binging on TV, not really having any motivation, but at the same time, simultaneously, while you're going through this heartbreak or this moment, your soul is telling you to get the F up and get out of this already because we have shit to do, basically, right? Then get out of that routine, do something different to shock your system and experience something new that is outside of the normalcy. This awareness that you will gain and the outside of this, right, at the end of this, you're going to have more control of your emotions. Maybe you're overly sensitive right now. And the awareness is going to come around, or is going to tell you or show you, how to handle your emotions better, how to direct that oversensitivity, or even how to direct the heartache and transform it into something that you can use, which is cliche as it sounds. The transformation, and I was picking up on transformation. I don't know if I mentioned that before I even did the reading, but the transformation here is how can you transmute the heartbreak or the pain that you're going through into this new venture, this new idea, this new project, this new lust for life, living life, having that passion, having that drive again. Essentially, that is the transmutation. The fire element is needed in order to do that, right? And we're talking esoterically here, but how do you do that in a 3D way while you are a human living on Earth, right? And that is new experiences and getting out of this routine, forcing yourself to get out of this routine so you can experience something new. And then essentially get back out there into life. And then you'll start to see the opportunities happen. And it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to be like, okay, from one moment to the next, you're up from your couch, you're out your door, you're going on a hike and then you're healed. Absolutely not. But the more you do those things and the more you get out of your current situation and into more of a more naturistic things or activities, it's going to ground you, and you're going to see that you'll have that inspiration come through, and that fire element will come through. It's not going to be perfect. You'll probably go back home and it'll probably be like, okay, I'm back here again. But if you are consistent enough with it, eventually you'll see yourself get out of this stagnant period that you're in. I know that that was a lot, and it took me a little bit to get to the overall message, and I apologize for that. I hope that it did help somebody listening. I mean, in the end, get up, get out, right? I acknowledge your pain, acknowledge what you're feeling, face it, look at it, and transmute it, because the universe wants you to move to the next phase of life right now. The universe wants you to show up again and have that fire and that drive and that passion for yourself and your life again. And you have everything it takes to get there. So yeah, so I hope this helped, and thank you so much for if you were able to stick through the reading and listen to the whole thing. I really appreciate it. If you related to it in any way, if you want to hear more of me and my readings, please like the video. You can subscribe. I'm new to YouTube, so I'm having a good time doing the readings, and I hope to do more. So until the next time, thank you so much.